Yeah, I could not agree more with Dominique de Villepin about the description of the challenges. And I want to start by going back to 2004. In 2004, I had the privilege to join a conference like style here in Beijing as the chairman of the Social Democratic Group in the European Parliament. And I was the key speaker, and the other key speaker was the then Deputy Secretary General of the Communist Party of China, Xi Jinping. And he made a speech I will never forget with the content, I resume, the 21st century is a century of world regions. We are a world region, 1.4 billion inhabitants. Our Indian neighbors is a world region, 1.1 billion inhabitants. Our two countries together are a third of world population. And our neighbors here in the Pacific Sea, the Asian countries, just building a common market with Indonesia and Vietnam. And even the Latin American countries, he continued, if they are prepared to build up finally the Mercosur area, will become a world region. And you, Europeans, you must decide what you want to be. A world region if you combine the power of your then 28 member states, or to continue to be divided eternally about everything. This was the analysis of a Chinese Deputy Secretary General 16 years ago. He is now the leader of the country with this view. We are a world region, and let's be honest, today they are the leading world region. And in my stay in Beijing, so I had another meeting with this then president of the Central Bank of China, who told me in a conversation, I don't understand you Europeans. I said, why? What are we doing wrong? He said, you are not looking to the map. I said, why? Yeah, look, Greece. Greece is a problem country in Europe. And the harbor of Piraeus will become, sooner or later, a key point of world trade. And we will buy it. They bought it. So the problem of Europe is that the understanding, and I agree entirely with Dominic, about the role of Europe in the 21st century in relation to other world regions is completely underdeveloped. Europe is completely inward looking. And I agree also, and not only the European institutions, especially the governments and the member states of the European Union. If you allow, I add to what I just said a joke. Jean-Claude Juncker, when he was still Prime Minister of Luxembourg, used to make when we sat together. Once a year, he said, the Chinese president is coming to Luxembourg. I take him then, Hu Jintao, in that time, I take him then in my arm and I say, tell him then, look, who you and I together, Luxembourg and China, we are world power. And that's true. Luxembourg and China together represent something. But Juncker continued when he is back to Beijing. He is still a world power, and I am the Préfet de Luxembourg. This is the reality of a lot of member states of the European Union. The European Union is a group of small countries. And some of the member states who have not yet understood that they are small countries in relation to China or the United States or other parts of the world. Indonesia, 200 million inhabitants, with an enormous potential of increasing economic power. So my conclusion is the European Union will fail if the member states of the Union continue to do two things: to be divided on everything and to destabilize the common institution, because the lack of respect you just rightly mentioned with this example, Borrell in Moscow or Ursula von der Leyen with the president of Turkey. This lack of respect is also existing in the capitals of the member states in relation to the European institutions. We create common institutions, but look how the action of the common institutions are putting in question in Budapest or in Warsaw and in some other capitals of member states of the European Union. We have common rules, but the moment the institutions responsible to apply the common rules, to stick to the common rules, to control that they are respected, from the internal market rules to the fundamental rights respect. The moment they interfere, the member states, and not only Hungary and Poland, also from time to time Germany and France, the reaction is they have not the right to interfere in our domestic politics. This is a catastrophe. Therefore, my conclusion is we made an enormous step forward in creating the recovery fund, yes, from social distancing to social solidarity, but despite the fact that it was entirely necessary and unavoidable to create such an enormous bulk of money to invest in our future, the big step forward was that for once in a key question, the European Union showed that it is able to act together. And this is the sign that everything is still possible to tackle the challenges of the 21st century, but the answer must be that unity creates power and division is weakening everybody, every member state of the European Union. So I think to tackle the challenges of the 21st century, especially in the view of the results of the pandemic and the damages of the pandemic, we made a step forward, but I'm still not yet convinced that the member states will continue on other necessary levels and areas to do the same than they did rightly with the recovery fund.